When you talk about looking back in time, you mentioned Chris Squire, and I'd be remiss to not mention that the anniversary of his passing was just, I think, last week also.
Right.
And then you're mentioning Tony Levin's bass guitar on Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, Howe. But, Chris Squire was the first one that you connected with, if I understand the story correctly, to form Yes. And what made him such a special person? We talked a little bit about Rick Wakeman. What made Christopher Squire such an impressive individual beyond his music, beyond the obvious?
Yeah, but the way he played was very in harmony with the singer. So I was the singer, and he obviously did this. As I sang that, he was doing this and moving around. And it came natural for me to write songs with him, and then again with Steve Howe. Start writing with Steve around Fragile album, things like that. Rick was there. So I had an accompaniment of very talented musicians that eventually became very famous. I didn't know that when we were in the basement of the Lucky Horseshoe Cafe in central London. That's where we were when we started. And we sort of tried this out, tried that out. I think we were connected very strongly to, the American music was the Beach Boys at the height of their career. And there was this energy of Crosby, Stills and Nash were coming sort of thing. Everybody knew this was happening around. There was a lot going on that wasn't in England because the Beatles had dominated so much that there wasn't that, at that time there was a band called Family out of Birmingham, and I just said to Chris, as long as we can be as good as them, I don't care.
As good as Family.
Yeah, Family. And
you had a high bar, huh?
Yeah, well, at that time, you wanted to be as good as you can be, and that's when we started to understand that, hey, we can listen to other bands. At that time, King Crimson was happening.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin was happening. It was like we knew that everything was going on, and we were part of the everything that was going on, We didn't know how good we were until Fragile, I think. That's why it was called Fragile, because we'd already lost two guys in the band, Peter, and then eventually Tony Kaye, who was the keyboard player. And then we got Rick Wakeman. All of a sudden, we were blossoming, musically speaking, because there was more to talk about and more to conjure up together. And that's why, the Yes album became what it was, and the Fragile. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, let's go for Close to the Edge. Me and Steve have been writing this idea out, and that was a miracle within itself, watching that happen and how it built and created. And then the extraordinary feeling that I got when I got a phone call from Bill Bruford a week later, we'd finished it, and I was like, okay, we're a band that means something here now. Bill, what is it? Bill, what? You're going to leave the band? I can't breathe. You're going to leave the band and go with King Crimson? I can't breathe anymore because he doesn't like our music. I have the feeling that we weren't good enough then.
So you felt you weren't good enough because Bill Bruford was taking a hike. I mean, he was immensely talented, but then Alan White joined after that. Am I correct?
Of course. It was like somebody got a coin and went, okay, tails, we go for this guy, Alan White. He played with John Lennon. You know that guy? Yeah. Do you know him? Yeah. Well, get him to come and rehearse. So I'm talking to one of the roadies.